GM, we are going live for a decent weekly update with a bit of an AMA at the end as well. So let's just make sure that we're streaming everywhere. If you're tuning in on YouTube or Twitter, cool. We'll go through some general news. And then as soon as we've gone through the general news, we'll take those questions and we'll go from there. Alrighty, so let's just make sure. And make sure we are, in fact, live on X. Cool. Let's get into it. All right, so starting here at Messari, because Messari just gives us a good feed of information on as a bit of a recap. So been a bit of a, sorry, I've just had to restart the computer. The biggest news is in China, they changed some so they changed some money printing guides, and so we've got a decent kind of movement with Bitcoin. So basically, they haven't released the actual numbers. We don't know how much money printing is going to happen, but this is the sort of stuff that we think we're going to see throughout the rest of the year, 2025 especially, which kind of pushes us up into that banana zone. So in particular, Bitcoin had like a GOG candle, went over 65K. It's like, I don't know what it is exactly. ETH rose, Solana rose. A lot of things rose, and they did very, very well. And this is all because of that Chinese news. The other major bit of news relates to Trump, or rather the DeFi World Liquidity Financial Token. So not very bullish on this at all, but I'm going to just go through that anyway. So this is a TLDR here from the block. There's a live stream, which I haven't caught, 100,000 whitelist signups. I tried a KYC, it was denied. I can still try again though. Paxos co-founder Rich Teo joins a stablecoin and payments lead, and they want to try and raise $300 million at a $1.5 billion valuation. So these are the sources here, the block. And now the only real positive thing here is you've got a very high profile person, Donald Trump, tweeting about it. And I don't understand exactly the mission here. And I don't think anyone understands properly the mission. But Crypto Teluga has put out something very, very decent. So this was my thesis on why I put it on your radar. Previously, Trump launched his NFT collection for $99 and at all-time high floor did 16x. I bought a couple, I sold them for like a 5x or whatever. This was right back in after FTX had rugged. I was poor and I only bought a couple. But it was just, and the NFTs were nothing amazing. They're on Polygon, but they did a pretty easy onboarding solution. And there's still some that are selling for quite a bit of time. Like this is a well-known person. Now, here are all the details. Like KYC is mandatory. Far harder if you're in the US. You have to be an actual like accredited investor, which is far, far harder. And really, the basic things are, it's not adding anything amazing. One, they're planning to rise 300 million, which is pretty insane. The token will not be transferable for the first 12 months. The public sale will be 63%, reward 17, team 20. There'll be multiple rounds. The good things supported by Trump, like Trump, Elon Musk, these kind of people, they have an audience. But what else? There's nothing else. Like, I don't think it's going to be Camino, Aave, Dupe, or anything like that. 300 million is highest ever public sale in crypto. That's not true, but still, it's insane. 1.5 billion valuation. Yeah, that's a bit insane. 12-month lock-in as well, so kind of crazy. Now, having said that, if I KYC'd, I would still throw $100, $1,000 at it, but it'd just be on a speculation play. I don't actually expect a lot from it. The thing is, Donald Trump can't hurt his reputation. I don't even know why he's doing this, because it's quite deadly of him to do this, to put his name to something like this, because he's going for the president. So it's kind of tricky. The actual biggest public raise was EOS, and this was absolute, I don't want to get myself in trouble, but it has not amounted to anything. They've raised over $4 billion. This is way back. And they did a public sale that ended with $4.1 billion in 2018. It was massive, the biggest ICO ever. Anyway, What is World Liberty? They had a Twitter space, but I think things like this, they need a, like, if they're trying to raise 300 million, you need to have a lot more information out there. So that's why I view it completely as a degen play. It's just a high speculation. That's it. Now let's have a look at this October trap that was referenced not too long ago. Now, if the pattern continues, we're kind of out of the big zone. We've come up. If the pattern continues up to around 66,000 and then continues, then we go up and we're through this October trap. That's what I think is going to happen. But, you know, who knows? But that was that thesis. Let's move on to deBridge. Just letting you know that there's 24 hours until DBR's launch. I'm not super bullish on this. Like I said, I've tried to be very bullish on the token, but I'm very bullish on the actual dApp. It's fantastic to use, but there's not enough information on why DBR is very worthwhile. And my whole thesis when it comes to tokenomics is completely changing due to the fact that meme coin tokenomics are ruling, and all these things with vesting and unlocks and all that sort of stuff, I don't think they're going to perform well. They're not properly about Web3. So you can have a read through this. The basic thing is the token's still not going to be launched until the 17th, but this is coming out on the LFT launchpad if you want to actually jump in. And not everyone can jump in. You have to be an eligible address with 25K. And there are certain users that actually use the platform. And it's a cap of 5 million. And we've got the next tweet over here. This is where the checker is to see what your airdrop is going to be. But in particular, I want to pay attention to this. So the price this is the price you're getting. You can get this price right now, day one, pretty much by going and jumping onto Whales Market and buying it at this price. So this is where it's crazy. And the silly thing is this is locked for 50% is locked for 6 months. Like, I can be wrong so many times. As long as I'm right in the core conviction models, that's okay. And of course, nothing's financial advice. You can do, if you've done your own research and you're bullish on the token, great. But what we can do is we can watch the actual price of this, and we can see if this lifts up properly nicely to say 15 million, 20 million. That way, it's well over its max cap. So if it's 20 million, you're only getting, for every $4 you put in, you're getting $1 worth of DBR, and the rest will be refunded in USDC. Then we can speculate, okay, the price can go up. So it's hard to know, but this is going to start in 16 hours. And I don't think, like, for such a clean foundation, for such a clean website, I don't understand why I haven't got the messaging of why the token's important. But I'm more than happy to be wrong. Here is who is eligible. Addresses that use deBridge on 10 different days before the snapshot. And with Jupiter, the top 10% of dupe stakers. So you had to have more than 690 dupe at the moment of snapshot, which should be a decent number of people. This is a token here, so 2.66 cents, right? But you could actually go and put a buy order over here, and you'd probably get it filled if it was like a slightly higher. So it's probably, yeah, this is where I'm like reluctant that the LFG launchpad will do well. All right, let's move along. So the cryptocurrency market state visualization up, of course. Thank you, China. Appreciate it. We all do. Almost 66,000 now with Bitcoin, and Sol's doing nicely. Crypto and fair greed. Nothing's financial advice. I don't want to say that again, but remember, when we're low, like, this is a good time to buy. Typically, it's a very good time to buy. And now we've gone up, and now we're in this neutral period. So even though we've had this bullish news from China, we're still neutral. We're not getting greedy yet. So still up we go further, I think. October is in the green at present. It's how we close, not how we open, how we end the race. But this is a good sign. And September was good in the end. And we also have some mega decent unlocks. So if you're holding these tokens, sometimes they can be very, very relevant. Eigen is already unlocking $40 million worth. Not bullish on this. Not really bullish on any of these, to be honest. But just keep in mind, unlocks are very important. There are other ones that are like linear, So I don't know about many of these. When it comes to Sol, though, there's a significant amount apparently unlocking as a linear amount. However, my understanding is this is just essentially inflation. So there's a decent amount of inflation. I can't see the actual source on where that is. And remember, with your Sol, like literally, if you do not stake your Sol, you're losing out to inflation. Stake your Sol, stake it with validator.com. CoinGecko's put out the Q3 crypto industry report. This is where we want to see where the trends are. Then we can allocate capital into those markets. A big one is where the DEX trading is and where, DeFi is taking off. Ethereum's still leading, but it's lost significantly to Solana and Base. I had this thesis quite some time ago. Haven't even had time to really properly play on Base. Yes, Base is far more centralized. It's extremely centralized, but it has like trust because of Coinbase. If you want to play there, you're welcome to. If you're all about more decentralized, then you can go wherever you want. But Solana and Base, I think, are very worthwhile plays. That's why we're on Solana, playing a lot. And Base, I think, is worthwhile. Sui, I also feel is getting a bit of attraction, but it's not shown here. It's getting shown in the price. Dupe is dominating in terms of aggregating when looking at the other things. And that's, a big reason why Solana's going to continue to do well. Also, Dupe's gone up like 14% or something quite nicely, which is good. And that's because Grayscale has put it onto their list of, assets under consideration for potential inclusion in future investment products, which is good. And now let's have a quick look at our calendar. Remember, just tune into some of these. Some things will interest you, some things won't. Nothing crazy here. Star Atlas, new gameplay. I don't even put in a lot of stuff. The team does. We've got the Dupe and Juice playlist, Dupe and Juice podcast, and a few other things. Check them out if you're keen. Grass. So Grass is obviously the competition to like OpenAI in terms of getting the data, selling it to stuff. You basically, your data has been taken regardless. Now you can use your data and get something for it. Some people are fudding this significantly, but it has done very well in terms of valuations. It was like sitting on like 30 cents and now it's at like $1 on the pre-markets. And they now have another airdrop checker that's going to be available on October 21st to see if there's any updates. So you have to check it again and you'll see did it go up? Did it go down? Whatever. See how that goes. Okay. Just a reminder, as this is a weekly news, check out Camino. They've got more availability for multiplying. So if you want to jump some Dupe Sol or Judo Sol and leverage up a little bit, you can get a higher return. Vast majority of Sols are always just going to be staked. I think that's smarter though. And now on to a bit of speculation here. So we're just talking about deBridge, but now we're talking about Wormhole and the fact that there could be another actual airdrop. It won't be as big as the first one, but there's 6% remaining. So this dude's Crypto Cove, their thesis is try out Jumper. That way you are potentially getting an airdrop for Jumper, Mayan, and also Wormhole. So you can use deBridge, but you may want to try this as well with Jumper. If you're going between bridges and bridges, I don't even know what bridges they support, but these things have a pretty good UI these days. They're easy. Another bit of potential alpha is do this with a wallet that's staking a small amount of W on tally.xyz governance with Wormhole. Maybe that would be a multiplier. Maybe it won't be. Who knows? Another bit of speculation here. Uniswap and their first airdrop was legendary. Very few people that are watching right now would be aware of this. This happened like 2021 or something. And it was just like a fixed amount. I think it was like 500 uni or 400 uni to whoever had used Uniswap. And so if someone had like 50 wallets, boom, they did it. If they did $1 million with one wallet and $2 with another in terms of swaps, same thing. I didn't have many wallets, but still, they've got 45% of their supply and they need to attract, people. So maybe people that go and play on their testnet, which I'm not bullish on the Uni token, but maybe by playing over there, that could be something that could get a bit of an airdrop. It's very hard now, even though they were the the market leaders, it's very hard for them, in my opinion, to attract more liquidity to their chain or for the price of the uni token to go up. But it's probably worthwhile to give this a go. And there's another guide here. Do a couple of bridges, get some tokens, just try out the test net. It could be worth your time. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Next thing I want to just focus on is I'm not anonymous, and that's a decision I've made. But I think it is a worthwhile decision that people stay relatively anonymous and keep your operational security intact. So there's been an increase in incidents of in-person crypto theft. You would have seen this. Hate to talk about this sort of stuff. There'll be some countries that are safer and some that aren't. Europe is it's a broad area. There's areas that are safe and the others that aren't. But the safety in Western Europe is getting a little bit rubbish, to be perfectly honest. There's certainly an uptick in many things. I'm not going to get into it too much. My major thing is take care of your operational security. If you're an anonymous bird on the internet, I'm happy with that. Unless you need, a face and name to your brand. All right. Review the Jupiter Mobile is another bit of an actionable. There's a lot of submissions here, so you don't even have to do this because it's probably not worth your time at this stage. But you know what, Jupe, we want this thing to go mainstream. We want actual people to use this. So you leave a review on the App Store and then don't worry about the next steps unless you're really, really keen. Either way, this is only on iOS. It will be coming to Android, but give it that a go. And now let's jump into some actionables before we take any questions. So DCA Sol on Jupe.ig and stakewithvalidator.com. That's just something I'm going to always mention. It's always relevant, in my opinion. Review the Jupiter Mobile on App Store. Submit onto Super Team Earn. The Trump's World Liberty Finance Token sale goes live tomorrow morning. As I said, I'm going to try to KYC again, and I will deed in like a $500 or $1,000, but only because I don't think it's going to be amazing in terms of, Aave or Camino or Jupe, Meteor. I just think that Trump branding will be helpful. And airdrop actionables, Liquidity in the Jito Sol and Sol Meteor pool, and also Uniswap's testnet. Try that out and do some swaps. I have another one that I want to talk to you about as well, but let's take some questions now. All right, so firstly, let's just have a look and see if anyone has been pinging anything on Twitter. If you did, and I checked, and cool. Let's see if there's anything there. I don't think there's anyone watching over there. Fine. And now let's have a look. Can you check Airdrop or YesCoin for us? I don't know what Airdrop is, but meme coins are hard. That's my first thing. And I'll show you someone that you can follow that's gonna that'd be worthwhile to follow. However, it doesn't have calls so much. This person here is doing very, very well with meme coins, making a whole lot. He's used some racial words that's going to disagree with some people. He is going to use this word, which will upset some people. But in terms of, and he'll probably dump on you at some stage as well. But let's have a look at YesCoin. I don't know if something like YesCoin would do well. I was thinking YesCoin was something different. I don't know if this is what you're referring to. So, okay, that's not. I imagine it's something else. Just yes. There's so many Yes coins. Is it this one, the Yes token? I'm not sure. Unless I have a contract address, I'm not sure. But if it is this one, then the thing with meme coins is I find quite often it has to be acute. It needs to be this is my thesis. It needs to be an animal. It needs to have a rampant kind of community. It can't just be people that just posting the contract address. It needs to be people that put it in their bios and to the moon. It needs to have the Roaring Kitty kind of vibes of GME, and it can be stock based. as a kind of rip-off of the stocks like the SPX, which is clearly doing well, and GME, probably done well in the past, those sort of things. When do I think the Meteor airdrop is coming? I hope it's next year, but I'm pleased you asked about it, because Meteor is exceptionally hard to use for most people. But I jumped on a call, so you can front run me on this one. I jumped on a call with Hawkfi, and I'll give you a little bit of the inside goss of everything that's public. Nothing will be, I'm not allowed to say. So Hawkfi is a way to use Meteor and Orca, but Meteor at present, in order to manage your liquidity positions far better. I'm going to make a decent tutorial, most likely be on the Jupiter channel, and then if needed, I'll make it on mine. But we shouldn't need 2 tutorials out there. So, new HFI token. We don't know when it's going to be released. Could be end of the year. Could be early next year. We don't know that. And Hawk points. So I do have confirmation that you start using it now, you are gaining Hawk points. There's no referral or anything. I haven't done these tokens. There is, and I only tried it for the first time today. I should also talk to you about GOAT as well as a meme coin, but we'll answer some questions first. All I'm saying right now is if you've got the skills to work out Meteor, use Hawkfi, because it has a whole lot of tools. You'll be getting the MET points and you'll be getting Hawk points, but they do take 8% of your fees or your yield, your earned yield. So if you earn $100, you get $92, they get $8. But with all the different features, very worthwhile. If you've got the skills to pay the bills, work it out before I do my tutorial. Otherwise, you can come here and you can actually see what are the fees that are printing. GOAT is printing. I found out about like 1 a.m. I tried it. It's a little bit reluctant. It did okay. I only just jumped into the liquidity pool recently, though. I have no idea how it's doing. We'll come back to this if it has time. For now, I just want to put it on your radar. So when do I think this Meteor airdrop will be coming? I really hope it's next year. I really hope it's like pig bull and people just euphoric and silly, because that gives us time to ideally like properly use Meteor. There are people that are going to get the fattest airdrops ever, and there's going to be most of us with something piddly. Did I get access to Tribe.fun social fi project on Solana? No, I didn't. And I haven't heard of it. So remember, my suggestion to everybody is don't just blindly go to the website. Go to tribe.fun. Just search for it like this. Tribe.fun. I mean, it could be okay, but I don't just want to go and tribe.run. Socialfi. Tribe, this one. Tribe.run. Sorry, did I miss? Crypto Social currently. Okay. Haven't played with it. Might be cool. Haven't played with it. Okay. So the long format's just going to be like once or twice a week, okay? But I've got some other ideas as well. Best meme coin on say with potential? No clue. No clue. I have no idea what's even happening over there. What's your opinion on Chunky? Like, it has a really cool branding, but it hasn't like taken off. You know, it's lost a lot of ground. It's got like a kind of core DJ Academy kind of like believers, but it hasn't taken off, unfortunately. Mitch is based same. Yeah, so Murad is now probably up an insane amount of money. If you don't know who Murad is, and I think a lot of people would, it's this dude here. And I was too busy to put in the research when someone said like, hey, what about his calls? So this is annoying. But in the chat, I'm not sure if he mentions it here, but he has like predictions on this. He ends up liking 3 different tokens. So the tokens he likes are Giga. There's a couple of gigas out there, but I think we'll be able to work out which is the correct giga. I imagine it's going to be this one, which if we have a look in the last, the growth has been quite substantial. The biggest one is SPX 6900, which just did absolutely insane. But it's hard to find an entry on these sort of things because Like if we look at the last month, like this is when we're all in Singapore and we're kind of skipping. Oh yeah, and then it just runs up, and then we had a buying period, and then we're like, okay, and then like, you know what, I'm waiting for a pullback. We got a pullback, and then up it went again. So I have none of this. And then this final one, and this one's now almost at $1 billion, is PopCat. I don't understand why PopCat's so been pumping so well, but it has been, and it's at $1.5 billion. So this is doing very, very well, and I don't know why, but you don't need to understand why, but maybe you want to grab some of those tokens. The reality is, though, Murad, I don't know what he put in initially, but Zach XBT did a bit of a review of his wallets, and he was holding $25 million worth of tokens. He's now probably at like 45 or something, probably substantial. Revolving game nodes, unsure what that is. Okay, so Mert tweeted about tribe.fun. Okay, well, cool. I wonder if Mert actually uses it. We have like a certain amount of time that we can do for different things, and like video and all this takes quite a bit of time. Research takes a whole lot of time. So sometimes something is like really cool. It's going to find product market fit, but I can't cover it. But if you think it's good, I think go for it. Do you think the Tremp token launch is bullish or bearish for your Tremp position? I don't have a Tremp position. I don't think I own any, but like the Bonk guy says that he thinks political meme coins still have a place, and he's done very well throughout meme coins for 3 cycles. The Trump token is not going to be called Trump, but I don't think there's not going to be really a connection. If Trump wins the election, then the Trump token will do well. If he loses the election, the Kamala token will do well. Aptos versus Say. I don't know. I would say Aptos would probably do better, but I don't know why. So let's kind of skip it. Can you explain us your strategy about Meteor's DLMM pool one day? Maybe a full video about it. Sure. I would say right now, most of the time, unless you're doing it like full time, you're going to lose. The only time that you're going to do well, here are some top tips. Actually, I've got some top tips. So my actual advice is try HawkFi, because yes, there'll be a video on it within a week, and we can show exactly how it's done. It'll be on the YouTube channel, as I said. But try not to be in pools on the weekend that are like meme coin related, because quite often you will get wrecked. You can set like stop losses and take profits in terms of like exiting a pool and leaving a pool with HawkFi. You know, it's going to be visually better if I just kind of show you this. You can, of course, just use the DLMM itself. The issue is it's you need to really jump into it all the time, continually all the time. So for example, with this one here, with Goat and Sol, Goat just quickly was a meme coin not created by this particular AI bot, but like linked to it in some way, and it's done very well. Let's just see if I take off shields. But this is the token that's doing very well. The thing is, these tokens, if you get too greedy, you've got a couple of options. Remember, you've got the Watch King. No, it's not the Watch King. I keep forgetting his name, but we covered the other day. There's some guy that jumps into these pools in and out all the time. He does really well. So you can see here, this has been in for nothing crazy. And we can work out the activity. But when we jump into this, we can set all these different things, such as like a stop loss. And it's not showing perfectly. Let's see if we can just verify the wallet and show everything. We can set a point. So if we go out of a range, then we take profits if we want to. Or if we drop 10%, then we swap it back to Sol, as opposed to just letting it run. And I think this is very worthwhile. So here we've got some automations. Auto compound, so it takes the funds and puts straight back in. Auto rebalance, so to keep it, so it's working well. And take profit and stop loss. However, still, if we go out of the range, we go out of the range. That's one thing of how it works. But thus far in the last like 3-4 hours, it's made $13 on whatever I put in. And total assets, 209. I've got a lot more Sol, and I've got a lot less of this. So I could have suffered impermanent loss. But the important thing is when you're entering into things, think of it in terms of like Sol value or USD value, not in terms of if I just held the token, because you want those fees. All right. So are we early for Meteor because I got liquidity just sat in there? Like we're not like early, but we're not late because it's hard. So there's probably less than like 5,000 really good people that are using Meteor properly. Is it better to hold JLP than putting it into Camino JLP multiply? So a lot of this has been covered in the JLP videos on Jupiter's channel. I'll show them quickly. Firstly, you're asking for like financial advice, which I can't say. One thing I will say, actually, don't worry about that. Oh no, I'll show you. So if we go to Jupiter, JLP, and then Camino, you can watch these things. You can use different things. So you've got this one, whatever. So if we just go and buy Jupiter itself, JLP itself, it's going to probably be earning, depending on the market, like they've changed the layout. So I don't know where it is now. Here we are. So it's earning 28% APY. If you trust the smart contracts, which I do, not in any way security advice, but if you trust the smart contracts over here and you leverage it up, nothing crazy, in my opinion, but like 3x or whatever, maybe 2.5x, then you'll be earning like 60%. And if you leverage it up with PYUSD, then you pay less. If you leverage it up with USDC, you pay more in the USD borrow rates, putting it, at this amount. So all of my JLP is either in Camino or a small bag, less than $1,000, is sitting in NX Finance. That's what I'm doing. You can do what you like. Remember, the other option is you just may want to just hold JLP just randomly on a ledger and not do anything with it. But that's how I do it. Looney's meme project on APT. I think it has potential. Cool. Wow. Aptos is really something I haven't covered. And I don't know if we're going to see it over here. Nothing there. Messari doesn't cover everything, but it's like, well worth it. The loonies, I'm guessing it's this one. This looks like it's on Aptos. And it's down a little bit, but it's, unsure what its market cap. Would probably have a look in Deck Screener, but I haven't really got the bandwidth for Aptos, so see how it goes for you. What's up with Solana ID? Early is closed. What's going to happen next? So the first thing is like, it's like the early stage of where you mint a priority pass to then get your Solana ID. The first people will get their Solana ID. So now they ship out the next things. The thing with Solana ID is they still need to ship a lot of things. They've been doing very, very well in terms of their marketing and stuff and getting people interested, but a lot of tech still needs to be built. They've got ambitious plans, and I hope they can achieve those. If they have the right engineers, they can. I'm just told. Are you buying Retardo Cousins to gain yield from Retardo Casino? I'm not, but I'm not buying any of these because I think I would upset people by affiliating with something called Retardio. And I don't want to upset people. Lumina RWA nodes. I don't know what these are. But nodes can be quite scary. There was a node period back in, it's called like the master nodes. And they were all the way back in 2018, 2019, and nodes just did not work. Is it this? A new way to explore Lumina's cutting edge RWA layer 2 infrastructure and earn rewards. Who is this? Okay, this is Lumina. Okay, so we're just going to find Lumina. I'm assuming it's this one. And then, so like Lumina node. I know that if I look into it, it's going to take me like 5 minutes on stream, and I don't want to do that to people, but we'll have a look and update tomorrow. What are your feelings about DAA? Long-term future, I mean? Love the project, though? Yeah, our bags. So NFTs have had difficulty for a long time, and I don't think there's going to be a proper recovery, to be honest. Those that are in NFTs and are very bullish on NFTs will say I'm wrong, and that's fine. Tensor and Magic Eden will disagree as well. But IP plays, like if they were done really, really well without making the mistakes that, DAA and every other IP play has made, then they should do okay. But I don't think there's going to be like any price that's going to do really well. We can see this, unfortunately, across the board. So cool art. I like it as well. But I don't expect any crazy play. But those that are in NFT, yeah. Well, we can have a quick look and see how it has done in terms of prices. And we could compare this to many different NFTs. The reality is things like this, if you had one DAA and then you're like active in what they call Mint Squad, it'd probably be a very profitable decision for you. But will DAA be able to ship enough things with the limited resources they have? I don't think so. Yes, at one stage, the all-time high price was well over. Okay, it's mean to zoom out that far, of course, but like if we have a look here, it's just been going down and down, and it's not really like the fault of their own. It's like the markets is some bad decisions on the team, like early on, different team members, but across the board, like you can have a look at, SMB Gen 2, it's higher, but whatever. SMB Gen 3 minted this for 20 Sol. And it's just the way NFTs are. So unsure what to say there. Just not bullish on most NFTs. There are NFTs that, like, if they have like utility or whatever, they've done well. Like Flash Beasts, I don't own any, but I think that has a bit of a upward potential. Okay, that's that one. Do you think Jupiter 2025 will be a killer? I've got 90K in volume so far. So 90K in volume is actually very minimal. Like you could just go, USD to Sol and back and forward, and you could probably spend $100 or less in swap fees and get to 100,000 with significant ease. But in terms of getting an airdrop, nobody's publicly said, and I have no honest clue of no inside knowledge, and I'm pleased I don't. No one knows how we're going to get the airdrop for January. And there's also a side of people that, we don't really want a January airdrop because it hurts our dupe position. If you go and airdrop $500 million worth of a token to people, that's a significant amount of sell pressure. That's a profitable shorting moment, I guess you could say. But one thing I would be more inclined to think would do well are using limit orders, DCA, VA, using some perps, and of course, governance. But overall, like, Jupe is a super dApp. And some people are going to be upset with the super dApp because it does too many things, and it, does things that other apps will do. And that's a hard thing. But unfortunately, Jupe and Camino, they are becoming super dApps. It's not unfortunate. It's good for the end user, but for the small fish out there, it's just the way it is. Why is the LP yield on Mumu so disproportionately high compared to other top Solana memes? Well, I have to see what you're referring to specifically. I imagine it all depends on like how much volume's going through and how much liquidity is there. So if we have a look for Mumu, the 24-hour fee in TVL is 1%. This is on Meteora. Auga's not live yet, but Meteor is the only place I want to partay. And then if we have a look at Bonk, it's 0.42. Now, the TVL, so the amount of money in this liquidity pool, is $2 million. right? So there's less money for everybody, unless someone's got like a really tight range, which I cover in my videos. And the TVL here is significantly less. So basically, I'd say bonk based on TVL is outperforming. And then you look at, if you just go back here and you just look at the 24-hour feeds of these ones, not as much TVL, but a massive amount of, volume going through this TVL. And that's what results in these things. So if you put money into it early, like at 1 a.m. or yesterday, these would have printed. So one perfect thing, I forgot to mention this, with Hawkfly, just bookmark this beast and just come and just each day just search. Whatever's highest 24-hour fees, keep an eye on that. I was speaking to someone from the team, and he said if he's going to LP into something, he's far more keen if it's over 30% or ideally even 50%. Then you get in, and you have some fun, and you get out. So this is not playing ball for us, annoyingly. It's a bit of a UI bug. But I guess what another way you could do it is have a look at 24-hour fees, right? Yes, we've covered that. And then like Alpha Sol. Okay, this is doing well because there's a lot of traction based on not a lot of money. So it's doing well here. That's doing well. You'd have to look at the charts, see if you want to get in, print some fees, get out. Get in, get out. The people in these things, they get in, they get out. Not everything's going to be profitable. They want to be profitable overall. They do not get in and just huddle their bags to the moon. That's how they do it. Short Sui to 1.8 just so people know. Okay, you've shorted it. Okay, all the best. There would be, I got some of the info on Sui and opportunities. There would you be up for some research on Sui? I don't want to make videos. Yeah, so I think you mentioned it a little while ago. You said you'd have some research for me. So you just come to Twitter and you just find me and you just click on sebmonty.link and then you just go and ping me on Telegram or email me or just ping me on Telegram. Or if I follow you on Twitter, then you can just DM me on Twitter. Would you buy the Parcel NFT at the moment? What do you think about the Parcel sentiment in general? So I think Parcel will do far better in 2025. That's when I think people are just going to go real estate, real estate, real estate. The mainstream media will go real estate. The Parcel NFT, I think the Parcel NFT is good if you want access to like special channels in their Discord. It's had its moment of a juicy airdrop. Thank you, Grinding. Are you still holding Slimes Cat? Yeah, I am. I'm just, there's so many things that it's really hard to keep an eye on everything. So that's why I just find people that are smarter than me in areas like the Bonk guy. And he's still bullish on the cat. And so I'm still bullish on the cat. It has really good IP. But, if it doesn't win, it doesn't win. It doesn't come on my feed very, very often, but I think it's really cool. We're so early. I do believe that there will be meme coins with, over $50 billion as a market cap. And that would be cool, but also scary. Any thoughts on Lucky Meme Airdrop? I don't know what he is. I don't know what it is. So I have no thoughts. Cool. All right. I think we're very much through things. As I've mentioned before, if anyone's interested in the DLMM stuff, check out Hawkfly. There is no shill here. I do need to ask, I need to check on all the audits, but I imagine it's fine. I do want to make one point very clear before I cover this in more detail. Hawkfly was Hawksite. I bought an NFT for like 3 or 4 Sol, just sat in a wallet, never used it, and it's worth basically nothing. And my bad. So this is Hawksite. This is the old version. You don't want to be using this anymore. You want to be using the new one. They're going to be moving everything over to here. They do have a token. Do not buy the token. It's just they are basically getting rid of that token. They'll be launching a new token. Oh, sorry, excuse me. I mean, it looks as though it goes in ranges. So maybe I don't know why it goes in ranges. I don't know who's buying it or selling it. But if you zoom out on this, like you can kind of ignore that part, but like it's just, it hasn't done well. Its market cap is tiny. It is a finished token. Do not buy the token, but go farm the airdrop. Future of PHP and Sui. I think Sui is really cool. I don't think it's good as Solana, but the way things quite often work is something that's doing very, very well, like Solana, will get a whole lot of attention until someone just says, we can do those things, but we're a smaller market cap. And then that's where people rotate money. If you miss out on one thing, you go to the next. Otherwise, the bigger something gets, you get less and less returns. PHP. I've heard of PHP, I think, but I don't know. Phoenix. No, I haven't heard of it. I have no idea what it is, sorry. Phoenix.global. Decentralized AI elastic compute infrastructure. Stake your PHP. I'm not sure. I think I'll be doing a disservice to speak about this. All right. Thanks very much for tuning in. All right. Last question. I don't have a viewpoint on the Octo Gaming OTK token. I know they've got like some cool kind of games out that are coolish. I played them before, but I don't really game. But Octo, we'll find it here. But I don't think this is where the narrative is, to be honest. It's hard because these guys build things, but you know, if a market doesn't want something, a market doesn't want something. If you look at that, it's very hard to go, oh yeah, I'm really excited. And so, yeah, not for me. All the best. All right. Thanks very much for tuning in. Catch you tomorrow.